What do we make of the big dumper breaking the all-time home run record for catchers in Major League Baseball?
It's cool.
Good for him.
MVP locked up?
Well, this is what's interesting is there is actually more people that are pointing out statistically why he is no longer in this running anymore. Like, it's
what's the statistical argument?
40% of his hits now are only home runs.
Okay.
His average since I think some point in June is like $140.
His average has been terrible for 3 months.
Completely fallen off the side of a mountain. But when he gets a hit, it's largely only a home run, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you'll take home runs.
But the percentage is dipped substantially. And so you point out that with what Judge is, even though Judge missed time, there's just a lot of people saying, yeah, like, look, a record-breaking year should not also always mean you're the MVP.
No. How does he rank in defensive metrics as a catcher this year?
He's one of the top defensive
because that's part of it that has to be a part of the conversation.
It was always his argument for the where's he at in the catcher category, and then this year his bat broke through.
If the metrics are still showing that he's one of the top 2 or 3 catchers defensively in baseball, that has to weigh. I'm not saying the determining factor, but it should be part of the decision.
I agree, because Judge, you guys corrected me incorrectly. Judge wasn't playing the field; he was just DHing.
Yeah, he's now throwing in pregame. They're trying to get his arm back so he can get back out there.
So, but he's still a monster. Judge is an MVP every year. We know this. Mm-hmm. It's, to me, if you said, Sprague, every break from now to the end of the show, just get in a catcher stance for the duration of the break and then you could get back in the seat, I couldn't physically do it. My knees would be cracking and I'd be in agony. So that guy's doing that, and then he's going up to the plate, and he's seemingly their offense, right? Like, they've got some good bats in that lineup, but, like, he is the driving force of it. So I get the percentages. I understand, like, we're diving into analytics in some regards to poo-poo it, but I don't know, man. Playing catcher is so incredibly difficult. It cuts so many careers down.
Yes, it does.
That when you get an all-time great catcher and that can also produce at the plate, it may not be as consistent as other players, but the defense matters. The defense has always mattered to me.
I think you have to have like a formula to come up with it in your own head of what are the most important factors, right? Like if you're an MVP voter, especially in baseball, how much a percentage does defense included in your vote? How much of it is the precedent or the record-setting nature of your season? How much of it is, power numbers, home runs, and RBIs? How much of it is average? Because in every single one of those categories, Cal Raleigh's not winning. Like, I brought this up 2 weeks ago on the show, and you mentioned that people are starting to highlight it. Mm-hmm. In May and June, he hit over 300 in both of those months. And that was the outlier for Raleigh, where you're like, damn, dude, this guy's hitting for power and he's hitting for average. He's never really done that before in his career. In the month of July, he hit $194. And in the month of August, after this weekend or yesterday, he had a couple hits. His batting average for the month of August, which is almost up, is at 200.
Yeah.
So if he has a rough 2 or 3 games here, he's going to hit below 200 for back-to-back months of a Major League Baseball season. So how much should that weigh as a negative, and does it counterbalance what he's doing defensively? Like, to me, it's never as cut and dry as we make it out to be. Aaron Judge, batting average-wise, is dominating Cal Raleigh for where he's at. The home runs is an advantage for Raleigh. I wouldn't use the word dominant. He has more home runs and more RBIs than Aaron Judge does, and he's a better defensive player than Aaron Judge is. So it's not an easy decision to make. He can help his case a little bit. If he ends up hitting above 250, I don't think this is as big of a deal. But if he has a September where he hits below 200 again, where's that batting average going to end up? 229?
If it's like
what's too low of a breaking point where you're like, dude, 50-something home runs for a catcher is insane, and you were good defensively, but you hit 216? Like, what's the average number where it's like, ooh, I'm stepping away from that MVP vote?
I mean, I think you're in it right there at that number, that 229, 230, 235 range. If he can get it to 245, if he can get close to 250.
He's at 247 right now, but my point is that for the last 2 months, his average, basically on a month low, is below 200, so it will continue to go down if that's the case.
But this is kind of my counter to that. Like, his average might not be great right now, and it is falling, but what if he's Gold Glove?
Yeah.
So you have a Gold Glove catcher who hit 50 homers and set the record.
Right, but hit 227.
100-plus ribbies, right. And maybe helps get his team into the playoff, and historically they have
he carried him offensively for half of the year.
It would immensely help his case if they overtake the Astros and win the division.
Ooh. Okay.
See, I kind of agree with that, and I think
winning the division matters for MVP for you?
It should.
I just think in this particular case, when you're going up against the Yankees, and if the Yankees finish third in the AL East and the Mariners overtake the Astros and win the division, because he's got to fight so much against, what the Yankees are and being the guy for the Yankees.
I feel like that's a little disrespectful to Judge, though, right? Like, I don't think Judge is in the conversation
I'm
just
talking-
because he's a Yankee. I mean, he
No.
gets more national attention,
He
sure,
gets
but
more
he's
national
he's hitting
attention and all of
330,
those.
like, he's,
Yeah,
Judge
no.
is
I
awesome.
He's a
understand
monster,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
But I think that's just in this particular race. It's down to those two. I'm not aware of other names that are being
me ask you this.
seriously
involved in the AL
bantered
MVP.
about.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just them two if you look at an odds board. But, like, should Skubal be in this?
I'm okay. I think more pitchers should win
I
the
think
MVP.
more pitchers when they can
happens
anchor
once in a
a
while.
Very
rotation
rare.
and you go out and I think for pitchers, one, you have to go out there every fifth day. So you need to have 30, 32 starts.
He's been an absolute
And
beast.
if your team is winning pretty much every time you go out there,
Yeah.
then that should count for something.
I tend to agree, though. If they can win the division, I mean, they're the Seattle Mariners. Like, we can get trolled by Mariner fan all we want. They're the Seattle freaking Mariners, dude. Like, they win a division, and he accounted for most of their offense for half the year.
And he
he's a
carried that
Gold Glover
offense for a chunk of it before, after the home run derby, then he started getting pitched around a little bit. And that's when Julio and the other guys took off. And then they made the trades for Naylor and Suarez.
Has Suarez gotten it going? I didn't see much of their series stuff.
Suarez
this week.
hadn't.
He took 2 out of 3.
Naylor has been really good since they acquired him. He's been solid.
Suarez still on the slow start, huh?
He was initially. I think he might have picked it up a little bit, but
didn't
he's
catch
not
any
on a
either.
tear. He's not on a tear.
I just refuse to watch A's games in any capacity. Now, I do want to point this out because I know we're talking about MVP and it's separate of it, but the way I'm talking about the catcher position and what it does to people.
As a former catcher, I respect the hell out of it, man. It's not my knees are still jacked up from catching.
Bob Nightingale just wrote a piece. Adley Rutschman's going to get traded. They are done with Adley Rutschman, and it's what
They just signed their other catcher to a 9-year,
like
$85 million deal or
$87
something.
million
he's
8-year
he's
deal or
going
something.
to be in a different uniform.
Yes,
And I
he's
went
gonna
and
get
looked it
traded.
up, and I know he's on an IL right now.
He's having a really rough year.
227.
He's disappeared.
9 homers and 29 RBIs.
He has completely disappeared.
That home run derby broke him.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it was, if there's other injuries we don't know about. Like, he's almost 32 at this point. He's 27. For some of these guys, you just need this has fresh start written all over it.
Yeah, because
somebody will take a chance on him of like, all right, we can get the best out of him.
Them and the Braves are the most disappointing teams, I think, in baseball this year.
Oh, without a doubt. Baltimore came in with World Series expectations, and remember they lost their first 10 games or whatever it was.
They're
It was
dead
like, oh my
last.
God, what happened there? And they never were able to dig out of that funk. But he has been, from where he was his first full year in the bigs, he was viewed as one of the best catchers in Major League Baseball. It dipped a little bit last year in overall production in terms of home runs, RBIs, games played, batting average, and then this year it is just
cratered,
fallen off a cliff. And he hasn't been healthy. He's only played 85 games, so that might be a huge part of it.
Well,
he
that's
needs
part
a
of the
chance to get
story,
healthy,
though.
but yeah, it's. I would be okay with my team taking a flyer on him. Like, I've watched Patrick Bailey hit like a $174 all year at catcher, and I'm like, anybody other than that sounds like a delightful addition. So I'd be willing for my team to take a flyer on him. I'm rooting like hell for him because he looked like he was about to grab baseball by the horns, if you will, and be one of the better catchers in the big leagues for a long time. But now you start looking, you're like, man, you're going to turn 28 this offseason. You're going into a contract decision where you're almost out of arbitration eligible years.
Yeah.
What is he worth? Who wants to take a chance on it? Like, very interesting future ahead for him. And when you're in his spot as the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is later, they're signing another catcher to a massive contract extension who has played very little time at the big leagues, tells you all you need to know about how Baltimore feels about him. And he will be playing for a different team this year.
That's just
or
tough,
next year,
man.
I should say.
I'm rooting like hell that he can turn this around. I know injuries have been a big part of this, but it's just that Nightingale piece of like he will be in a different uniform. I hope the scenery, the change of scenery helps him. We'll see where he ends up going, but it's crazy to think a season ago we were telling Schulte how stupid he was.
For that take, because guys like Adley Rutschman.
Yes. We were like, Rutschman exists, and then every listener was like, yeah, dude, what are you talking about? And he backed off the take.
What a dumb take, Schulte.
And now one guy can't stay healthy. He's batting $120 or 227. The other guy's in an MVP conversation.
Yeah, wild stuff, man. I can't believe that's how it's played out. Nobody really saw that coming. Fun baseball stuff over the weekend, though. Mariners host the Padres, I believe, starting tonight. They got a big series. Yes. We had Dodgers and Padres. We had Yankees and Red Sox this week. It was a fun little weekend of baseball.
Yankee Red Sox.
I know.
Get off my TV.
I know.
So tired of it.
I know. We had a Little League World Series end, too. Did you guys watch the Little League World Series
I
championship?
did not. I saw Chinese Taipei won for the first time in a
It was an
long
invalid championship.
Oh, invalid,
time.
huh?
Oh, why?
Venezuela not allowed to compete.
The Venezuelans not allowed in, huh?
God forbid we let the children in to play baseball.
No, can't let them have it. No. Not on my watch, buddy. Not on my watch.
Can't fly over that wall.
There's some baseball stuff for you. Cal Raleigh, 48-49. I'm going to repeat one saying the hard thing for him is the strikeout numbers.
Yeah.
I think he's 6th in Major League Baseball in strikeouts.
Yeah, he's kind of
So-
a swinging for the fences. He's back to kind of what he was at one
He
point.
is. The outlier was the start of the year for him. If he could just hold serve batting average wise around 250 the rest of the year, I think he will win the award.
Yeah, I agree.
If he can't do that and if it sinks like a stone, then it becomes a much more interesting conversation because of the season that Aaron Judge is having. But he's got to get back to playing some defense at some point.